All right, so we're gonna start. Today's going to be about app safety. So that is all of the apps that you may have on your smartphone or a tablet. So we're not going to really focus today on computers or desktops. So if you have one of those and don't have a smartphone or tablet, this class may not be for you. But we're going to talk about why it's important to update our apps, read reviews and ratings, and I'm going to show you some apps that you may want to download in the future and just a general overview. So what exactly is an app? So app is short for application, right? So all of those icons that you have on your smartphone or tablet, we call them apps. And they're basically small programs that you can download on your device, performs a specific function, right? So we have apps that can receive emails. We have an app to make phone calls, to send messages, listen to music, read books, look at the weather, play games, right? There's millions of apps that we can get that can do a specific function for us. So just like how we would go on a computer and we would type in the computer, what is the weather, or shopping or banking, right? All of those are apps that we can get on our phone or our tablet. And the good thing about apps is that some apps do not need to have internet connection to work, right? So for example, let's say if we want to write notes in our phone, we don't really need the internet connection to write notes in our phone. Or we don't need the internet connection to take a picture with our phone. All of those are apps. However, we do need the internet to read our emails. We do need the internet to watch videos on YouTube or movies on Netflix. We need the internet to send text messages. But now you see the differences that some require internet and some does not. And why do people use apps? Well, it just makes it easier for us to navigate with our smartphone. So instead of going on the computer and searching for something on the website, we can find it easier on our phone or tablet. Does anybody have any questions on that? Okay. So let's talk about the App Store, which is something that you should be familiar with. I'm gonna show this page first and then go over the App Store. But if you are someone today that has an iPhone or an iPad, so that's Apple devices, you should be familiar with the icon on the left-hand side of the screen. And those who have Android, Google, Samsung, all those type of smartphones and tablets, you should be familiar with the Google Play Store that is on the right hand of the screen. And these are two apps that we're going to focus on throughout the presentation today. But you may have used these apps before, or someone may have helped you to use these apps. But these are very important because I basically call them the shopping mall. What an app store does, it's basically a virtual store where you can find and purchase any types of apps. So this is where we go to download Netflix on our phone, to download a video game like puzzles, Candy Crush, if we needed like a magnifying glass, if we needed um directions for a specific app to give us directions, if there was an app that our building needed, we download that. So the app store is where we go and we find things to get on our phone. And with the app store, which I will show you later today, it is broken down very specifically, right? So you can type in a name of the app. You can look at the different categories. So there's gonna be categories that say most popular, the ones that are mostly highly rated, ones that are free, ones that are paid. So they're very broken down specifically. And I'm going to show you today how to navigate through the App Store so we can make sure that before we download the app, we read the description, we read the reviews, and there's a new thing that app stores do, which they tell you their safety and data policy, where the app will tell you what information they are sharing and what they are not. So that is something that we're going to go over as well. Any questions on that? Okay. So once again, these are the two icons that we're going to focus on. So with the App Store, of course, there are free apps and there are paid apps in both the App Store for Apple and the Google Play Store. But even though something is free, not most of the features that are in the app are not 100% free. It really depends on the app that you are getting. So for example, there's something called in-app purchases, right? So some free apps may ask you to pay money to unlock certain features within the app. So if I use an example like a video game, like a puzzle or a crossword puzzle or Candy Crush, if you're familiar with that, which is a type of puzzle game, the app may tell you if you don't want any advertisements, you can pay this certain amount of money to get rid of all the advertisements. Or it may say if you want to beat this level, pay 99 cents and we'll give you a power up. Or if it's like mail, once again, like if you have the Yahoo or AOL, it may say to pay for their subscription so you can get rid of their advertisements. So even though an app is free, sometimes you may see that when you're scrolling through the app, they may ask you, oh, pay this certain amount of money to unlock this certain type of feature. So if you see where it says in-app purchases, that's what that means. And like I was saying, most free apps do have advertisements. So whichever app that you may get, even if it's like for directions, even if you download a separate app for the weather, even YouTube, right? They're going to have advertisements. Sometimes it's at the top of the screen, sometimes it's at the bottom, and sometimes it could block the whole screen and you have to wait a certain amount of seconds before that advertisement finishes. And how these apps get you is they ask you to pay a certain money to get rid of these advertisements, or you can just obviously wait that 15 or 30 seconds and hit that X button. But some free apps, yes, they do have advertisements. And lastly, which is the most important, which I'm going to show you later today, is privacy concerns. So some free apps may collect and share your personal information with other advertisements and other companies, right? So today I'm going to show you how we read the app's privacy policy. Where do we find that in the App Store? So that before you just, impulsively download a free app on your phone, you want to make sure what information this app is going to collect from you. Does anybody have any questions on that? Once again, reviews and ratings, I'm going to go over that as well inside of the App Store. But of course, before you download anything on your phone or on your tablet, even on a computer, right? You should always read the review and the ratings because they're going to give you an idea if that app is, successful or not, right? If an app has a lot of negative reviews and low ratings, if it's a 1-star app, you shouldn't really download that app only because it may give you some glitches, some bugs, which means that your phone will start getting slower. It's not going to work properly. May could even give you a virus. So we shouldn't download any app that has a low rating. Another big thing is that even though the first comments and rating that you see is 5 out of 5 stars, don't really get fooled by that first rating, because most of the time the top rating, top comment is usually paid. Someone pays that person to write a great review about the app. So it's very important that you keep scrolling with your finger and read the rest of the reviews, because at the center I showed one app. I'm going to show you it today, but the first comment had 5 out of 5 stars, but then when we kept scrolling with our finger, we saw that the other ratings were very low. So even though the top comment may seem like this app is perfect, you have to keep looking at the other things that they show, because you don't want to get fooled by paid reviews, right? Any questions on that? All right, so one thing now, you could take out your phones if you're not using your phone for Zoom right at the moment, or if you have a tablet or iPad near you. I'm going to show you briefly how to update apps. So I have a screen for the Apple devices, and then I have a screen for those who have Android devices. Before I show you how to do it, why is it important to update your apps, right? Once again, if you never update your apps, right? What you're doing is making your phone slower, right? Because all the apps that are on your phone have the older version on it. Mostly apps update weekly and monthly, right? So if you're not taking the time to update your apps, you're always going to have the older version, which means slower software on your phone. Another reason it's important to update your app is security purposes, right? Apps are always updating to make sure that hackers do not get into their system. So they're always tweaking the app and making sure their app is very secure. And they release new updates for us, so then the newer app is even more secure. So if you're someone that hasn't updated in months, you're going to have apps that already have old software, can easily be hacked into. Whereas if you are up to date with always, checking and at the apps, making sure they're up to date, then you're going to have the most secure version and the one that has the most updated software. So if you have an iPhone today or an iPad, I'm going to show you how to update it, and then we're going to go to Google, Android, Samsung phones. All right. So if you have your iPhone with you in your hand or your iPad, you want to go to the App Store. So once again, what is the App Store? I'm going to just circle it here. You want to go to this app, right? That is the App Store. Once you find that app on your phone or your tablet, you could come here, and all the way at the top upper right hand corner should be your picture. Some people may have a blank. I have a picture of my face like a cartoon character, but yours is just probably going to be blank, but you do want to touch at that top upper right hand corner. Once you find that in the top upper right hand corner, you should scroll down with your finger very lightly. You don't have to scroll down that far. And you're going to see actually a section that says available updates. And you may have many, you may have none, but you should see something that says available updates. If it may even say updated recently, that your phone already updated some of the apps. But if you have a screen like this, you do want to hit the word update if it's just one, Or you can hit the word update all, and it will update all the apps for you. And you can use your phone however you like. You don't have to turn it off or anything. It's not going to turn off. It will update in the background. But all you have to do is just tap on that where it says update all. Anybody having trouble finding this or any questions? All right, so I just want to recommend once again that you check this weekly. Don't wait months and months to see if you have updates, because they usually always give a new update every week or every 2 weeks. But once again, you tap on that icon in the top right-hand corner. Once you click on that icon in the top right-hand corner, you will find a screen that says your apps and to update once you just scroll down just a bit. So if we have no questions on that, I'm going to go over now to Android devices. So those are people that have Samsung Galaxies and Google phones. And you guys are going to go to the Google Play Store, right? So Google Play Store is for Google phones. App Store is for Apple phones. So where's the Google Play Store and how it looks? Just a reminder again. This is the Google Play Store. I just circled it in red on the screen. You want to click on that icon. So it could be in a folder that says Google, or maybe it's by itself on your phone or tablet, but usually it's in a folder called Google. But once you find that icon, you as well are going to look in the top right-hand corner of the screen. And you might have the initial of your name or your last name in the top right-hand corner. You should tap on that once you find your initial in the top right-hand corner. Once again, you have to be in the Google Play Store. Once you click on that icon, you want to find where it says Manage Apps and Devices. When you click on Manage Apps and Devices, there should be a screen that says Updates Available. Updates mean the apps that need to be updated. If you did find that, you should get a screen just like this on the screen. Hopefully not 68 apps that you need to update. Hopefully only 1 or 2 or 3. But you should get a screen like this, and all you have to do is either click on the word update, or you can click on the word update all, and all of the apps will start updating for you. Anybody with Android devices need help on that?
Tabitha, it's Betty. I have one question.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to that screen, it says all of my apps have recently been updated. So is it being done automatically?
Yeah, you may have had, then you may have the switch on for automatic then, yes.
Okay.
And that is like not in the Google Play Store, that is in your settings, that you may have turned it on in the store when you first got the phone.
Okay.
But yes, if it says that, then you're all good.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay. So I just gonna show you some apps that I recommend before we talk about being safe and privacy concerns. So here on the screen, I'm just going to show you some apps that are free to use, some apps that are already installed in your phone that you may not use, but you should start to use. So first is the health, right? So I'm gonna circle it. I hope that some of you are already using this app if you have an Apple phone, which is the health app, which is installed on everybody's devices. But if you may have like not noticed it or ever used it, you may have deleted it by accident. But this does come with everyone's iPhone. And the Samsung Health, which is right under it, I just circled it, does the same exact thing that the iPhone's health app does, but that is for the Android phones. Those are two very, very important apps, not because they just track your steps, but you could also put emergency contacts in there, get reminders for your medication and appointments, and um, if you are someone that likes to walk a lot, for the Health for iPhones, it tells you all about your mobility, so like your walking speed, your walking asymmetry, the speed that you walk, your walk steadiness. It shows, you know, the calories that you might have burned. So it is a good app that you can start using. You could put in your nutrition if you wanted to. So it's a really great app to just track your and stay healthy and have a healthy lifestyle. The Samsung Health app does the same exact thing, which is right under it. But if you never used it or clicked on it, you do need to create an account for Samsung Health. Same thing with the Apple iPhone Health. You have to put in some information about you, right? So you may get a screen that says how many pounds you weigh, what is your height, because that's how they accurately check your steadiness of walking and your walking speed, your walking step length. They need to know that type of information to give you accurate measurements. So you may get a screen like that if you never ever used it. But I do recommend starting to use it because it's a really great way to just track and stay in shape. Any questions on that? All right. Of course, we also have FaceTime. I don't know if anyone here has ever used FaceTime before, but right, FaceTime is installed in everybody's Apple iPhone or Apple iPad. With FaceTime, right, you can video chat with all your contacts on your phone that also have other iPhones and other iPads. Apple has released a new update where you can actually talk with those who have Android phones and Android devices, Samsung, all that. You can actually FaceTime with them, but you have to create a link. So you know how today you and me, you clicked on a Zoom link to come into this meeting? That's the same way FaceTime now works. You can create a link and send it to an Android person, so then you can FaceTime with them. If your family member or friend already has an iPhone or an iPad, you do not need to send them a link. Only if they're an Android device. But of course, FaceTime is just video chatting, just like how we're video chatting right now on the screen. Any questions on FaceTime? So just like FaceTime, Zoom is another app which we're all using. I'm sure everyone here is already familiar with. So the two things now I'm going to show you, we're going to go to the App Store. We're going to look at something called magnifying glass and light, and then the New York Times crossword. So I can show you how to read reviews and ratings and how to find where it talks about your privacy and privacy concerns and what type of information they may be sharing with other companies, right? With other advertisers. And even though I'm showing it on the Google Play Store, the Apple App Store does the same exact thing. So as long as you scroll down with your finger, you will find the privacy concern. So let us go through it together. So I'm gonna go and screen share. Hold on. All right. So at the moment, I'm in the Google Play Store. And I'm going to search for an app so we can, look at how we shop on the Google Play Store. Same thing with the App Store. It's the same exact thing. I'm gonna type in the magnifying glass because that is the app I want to put on my phone or my tablet. So as soon as we type any app, you're going to see that you're going to get duplicates of duplicates, right? There's not always going to be just one app for it. There's going to be so many companies that offer the same exact thing. That's why it's important that we read the review and the ratings and we read the privacy concerns. What information are they selling with other people? So I'm going to click on this first app here. But of course, if I scroll down, there's tons of other things that apparently do the same exact thing, right? But I'm just going to choose the first one. So as soon as you click on an app, the first thing that it may show you is how many stars it has, how many downloads it has, and what is the rating, right? So you can see it has a 5-star reviews. 10 million people downloaded it on their phone, and it's for everyone, right? So any age can get this app on their phone or tablet. All right, so if I just scroll down, we're gonna get a description of the app right here. We're gonna say when it last updated the app, but right under it is where we wanna look. That's the most important, which it says data safety, right? So if I was just on my iPhone, which is the App Store, I think the language they use is app privacy. So app privacy and data safety is the same exact thing. It's going to tell you how the app is sharing and collecting your information to other people. So you can see here on the screen, I'm going to show you. It says that the developer, which is the creator of this magnifying glass app, says that the app doesn't collect or share any of the user's data. So the user is you and me. So if I put this app on my device, it's saying that they're not going to share any of my information. It says no data shared with third parties. What does that mean? It says that they're not going to share any of my data with other companies or advertisers or organizations. And once again, the developer says that doesn't collect any data either. But if we look here at the ending, right? Security practices, right? It says data isn't encrypted and data cannot be deleted. So what does that mean? So right here, this is saying that any information that we put in this app is not going to be transferred over secure connection. So they don't have ways to make our information in this app secure. So like if a hacker comes and we put in information here, we may be, subjected to getting hacked because it's not encrypted. But this app here is just a magnifying glass. So there isn't any really information that is going to be transferred anyways, right? If we were talking about a banking app, which we send people money, we get money in the app. If we had a banking app and it said something like this, that would be we would be very worried for that, and we wouldn't download that app, right? Because banking apps, which have our credit card information, should be secured and encrypted because we don't want a hacker to have that information. But this app itself, there isn't really any information we're sending over. All we're doing is just using our camera to zoom in and magnify stuff. So like things on the pill bottles, we want that to be magnified. If we're reading a menu in a restaurant, we would use this app to magnify the menu. So that right there is still okay. The same thing here. Data can't be deleted. So there isn't a way for our information in this app to be deleted. So like let's say we just deleted the app off our phone, they would still have the information that we put inside of this app. But once again, there is really no information we're putting in this app because all we're doing, once again, this is a magnifying app. So there is no information. All we're doing is just using our camera to zoom in on things, on fonts that are very small. So this security practices is not something to be overly worried about unless we were actually using an app that we were really sending information over, like our messages, our phone calls, our emails. All of that should be always secured and encrypted. We should be able to have a way for the data to be deleted. Does anybody have any questions on what I was just saying about the privacy concerns?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Bonnie. So in that case, you wouldn't want to use the magnifier for any sensitive documents because then they wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to be deleted.
exactly. You wouldn't want to be like zooming in on like I guess if like someone sends you a financial document, you wouldn't want to be zooming in on that, right? If it's just like a menu in a restaurant, that's fine. If it's like a book that you can't really see because the font is small, that's fine. But that is correct. Any other questions? So we're gonna keep looking at other apps so we can see what other data policies it says. So once again, if we just scroll down, like I said before, always read the review and the ratings, right? So even though this person up here says it's 5 out of 5 stars and it's an awesome app, you want to just scroll down and read what else it says, right? You even have a button that says see all reviews. So even though one comment is perfect, you just want to take some time out of your day to at least read what everyone else is saying. And if all the stuff are mostly positive, then you're good to go. But the review and the ratings, and especially this data safety, is something that you should always be reading, especially if it's something more crucial than just a magnifying glass app. So let's look at another app together and read their data policy and see what it says. Um, okay, let's look at WhatsApp because a lot of people use WhatsApp. So what is WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp is a way to communicate with people who are overseas, right? Internationally without having to be charged. So like when many people go on vacation, they use WhatsApp to talk to their family members and friends. So it's just a way to text message someone and to make a phone call with someone. That is what WhatsApp is if you have never used it before. So let us look at the date of safety with WhatsApp, right? And all I'm doing here, I'm just, you know, trying to let you understand how to read these things, right? We don't want to get scared of every app and then never use our phone and throw it in the garbage, right? I just want you to get familiar with how to read these policies before you download something or you know, share personal information on apps. So once again, it says the first thing it says is that no data is shared with third parties, right? So the things that you put into WhatsApp is not being shared with other companies. That's what that means. However, they do collect other information, and I'm going to tell you why they collect other information. So you could see here on the screen, it says this app may collect data and has all these things of what they may collect, and I'll go over to why they might collect it. However, it's not going to be 100% perfect, but you can always read their official private policy down here that goes even more explicit in how they manage your data. So let's go over the first one, which is approximate location, right? So it says, why would someone collect your location? Why does WhatsApp need to have your location, right? So right here, it actually tells you, if I just went down, why would they need your location? So to make the app function better. So with WhatsApp, a lot of people, you could send pictures in WhatsApp. You can actually send a location in your WhatsApp. So for example, if I was going to a party and I wanted to send my friend the location of the party, you can do that inside of WhatsApp. So that's what it means by app functionality, that in order for the app to work, and in order if you wanted to send your location to someone, they needed to have your location. We also see here we have something called fraud prevention and security, right? So of course, scammers are everywhere, right? Scammers are always asking for money. So let's say you needed to report to you know, the federal government about a scam that was happening. WhatsApp collects our location so they can find out where that scammer was wherever in the world. So those are some reasons why they may have your location. Then they also collect things like our email address, our user ID, and our phone number. And it's the same thing that they listed with our location. Why would they need that information? Well, of course, for like phone numbers, WhatsApp is a place to send a text message and to make a phone call, right? So of course they do need our phone number or WhatsApp is not gonna work. If you don't give WhatsApp your phone number, you can't make a phone call, you can't send a text message. So that's already a given. Email address, it says they're optional, right? But with WhatsApp, you could send a picture from WhatsApp to somebody's email. And so that is for app functionality. Same thing, like I said, with fraud prevention and security. How would they know where that scammer was located or what their phone number is or what that email address is? They all need to know that, so that's why they collect that information. Then we have financial info that also says optional, right? So within WhatsApp, there may be conversations of people talking about, you know, finances and things like that, especially with scammers. Sometimes there can be ways where you may purchase something within WhatsApp, but that's why it says optional. So that's not always true. But like I talked about earlier, if you remember that I said in-app purchases, sometimes you pay a fee within the app, like to get rid of advertisements. Then we have contacts, which is also optional, but why would WhatsApp need your contacts? Because that is how you call your family members and friends, right? If you don't give WhatsApp permission for your contacts, you would have to manually put in the person's phone number all the time. So, and also again, fraud prevention and security. Then they have other things like app activity. So like what they're monitoring, like what exactly are you doing on the app? Like are you trying to scam people, or are you just using it to talk to your family and friends? They may monitor like your language, things like that. Like, and then the reds are more things for how the app functions itself, like the technology aspect of it. Like, so things like app info and performance is how the app works itself. So like the software of the app, making sure it doesn't have any glitches or bugs. That's what that means. Anybody have any questions on what I just went over with this?
Seems like a lot of sensitive information. Is there any way we can pick and choose not to give some of it?
Well, when you are using WhatsApp, it does tell you, do you allow them to give you your contacts, and do you allow them to use your location if you ever use that function to send someone an address. The app should tell you, do you allow permission? But your phone number, you always give that to WhatsApp no matter what. If you don't give your phone number to WhatsApp, it's not going to work. Anytime someone goes into WhatsApp and downloads it, the first ever screen is, what is your phone number? So they can send you a code to go into WhatsApp. So that you always have to give to them, but the context and location, no. And the financial info is optional. Also, of course, you see here, this is different than the magnifying glass. The other one said your data is not encrypted. This one says yes, your data is encrypted. And that is good because we are sending text messages, we're sending phone calls. So we want that to be encrypted and secure so hackers don't get that information. And you can also request for your data to be deleted. So that would have to be through WhatsApp. I'm not too sure how do we request our data to be deleted, but I'm sure they have a customer service where you can talk to them if you wanted your data to be deleted. But you could see from the other app, it said no, your data couldn't be deleted. So I'm just showing you the differences between the apps that you get on your phone and what they say. Anyone have any questions on that? And then if you are still worried or nervous, don't be. But of course, there is a privacy policy here as well that will go into length. I'm just gonna click on it. You see, I just clicked on the privacy policy. It will go into length of all their terms and services and privacy policy. WhatsApp also has like a shop for businesses, so that's why the financial info is optional, because sometimes people pay WhatsApp for their business. But if you were still worried, you could click on all of these. I just wouldn't have the time to go over it because, as you could see, I'm scrolling down. It's a lengthy document about, you know, that thoroughly explains what exactly is their privacy policy. And all apps should have this, so you could go through every single one of their private policies and read them like that if you wanted more information. Does anybody have any questions? All right. So once again, this is the App Store. Just, the point of this class was just to be aware of how each app is different. Some apps are more secure than others. Some apps are going to, share some data, some are not, but they're always going to give the reasons of why they share the data. And if the app, when you're reading something and the app doesn't give an explanation why, then you should not download it on your phone. But now that you do know where to find it, next time you're interested in getting a new app on your device, always read the reviews and the ratings, and always read whether or not how they're sharing your data, right? They should give you an explanation so you can feel more at comfort. I hope you learned something today from, all the apps that we went over. So next time you can read those, privacy policies. So I see you then next week.